What is up, guys? Richard Cactus here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we are going to be showcasing a weapon that, by God, is the closest thing we've ever gotten to the Recluse. Like, if you missed that feeling of gunning things down with the Recluse, you're gonna get it when you use this weapon. And I remember back with Season of Arrivals, people tried to pass off the Dungeon SMG as a Recluse replacement, but it really didn't come close. This thing actually comes kind of close. It is one of the best PvE primaries in the game right now. It is something everyone should be going for, but a surprisingly few amount of people are talking about. And so, let's get started. Now, first things first, let's go over the Recluse to jog some memories and to educate some of the newer players. So the Recluse, importantly, is a pinnacle weapon, and pinnacle weapons back in the day were what initially ritual weapons are right now. So for example, the Salvation's Salvo grenade launcher, that's a ritual weapon, and that's a very, very good weapon. However, it consists of perks that are just normally in the game. It's basically a custom God rolled legendary weapon. But pinnacle weapons were generally harder to get, and they had completely unique perks, essentially exotic perks that only they could get. And with the Recluse submachine gun, that pinnacle perk was Master of Arms. Kills with any weapon improve this weapon's damage for a short time. It was also combined with Feeding Frenzy to just make it combo even better. And the real power of this thing in both PvP and PvE, but in this video we're going to focus more on PvE, was the fact that that perk said any weapon. That was the thing that completely tipped this weapon over the edge in terms of power, because if it didn't say that, this might as well be Rampage. This might as well be, Kill Clip. A lot of other damage increasing perks would have acted pretty much the same if you were just using the Recluse to trigger Master of Arms. But again, you weren't. You were using your shotgun. You were ticking things with Anarchy. You were doing all these other things with your other weapons. You were swapping weapons constantly, and anytime you went to the Recluse, it would have its damage bonus. Almost every gunfight you would use it for, it would get that damage bonus, and that's what made it just so darn powerful. The ability to swap off of this weapon and trigger it while using other things, to be able to use your special, use your heavy in the scenarios you need them, and not forego that damage boost that your primary would get. So, that brings us to the new kid on the block, and that is the Extraordinary Rendition, specifically when it spawns with the brand new Frenzy perk. Now, the good news is that the Extraordinary Rendition is a Season of the Chosen specific weapon, so it is very farmable via Umbral engrams. You can target farm this weapon if you want to, or frankly, the amount of Umbrals you can earn if you just turn them to Season of the Chosen weapons, you'll get a pretty darn lot of these weapons. But why am I saying the Extraordinary Rendition with Frenzy is coming close to the Recluse? Because there are some differences. Firstly, this is kinetic, whereas the Recluse is energy, and importantly, this does belong to a different archetype, the 750 RPM archetype, whereas the Recluse is 900. Frankly, 750 in my opinion is just straight up better than 900 in, well, PvP and PvE. It does more damage, it's still very controllable if you get, decent perks, but really it's that new Frenzy perk that brings it into the same ballpark. Like I was saying when I was talking about the Recluse, the real power of that weapon, the real power of Man-at-Arms was the fact that you could swap weapons at a whim and you would always retain that damage bonus. Frenzy is the only other damage increasing perk in the game that can also replicate that. Any other damage increasing perk, Rampage, Kill Clip, Multi-Kill Clip, One for All, even a new one like that, none of those work in the same way. If you want to activate those, you have to use the actual weapon itself with that perk on. But with Frenzy, I can use my shotgun as much as I want. Heck, I can use only my shotgun, and then after a certain amount of time, switch to my submachine gun without getting a single kill, and it will have Frenzy active. Now, there is a definite length of time to activate Frenzy. It's around 12 seconds of being in a fight, and that means doing damage or taking damage. And that is certainly not as easy to activate as getting a single kill with the Recluse. I'm not claiming that the Extraordinary Rendition is as good as the Recluse, but if you're doing a lot of activities out there, battlegrounds, strikes, dungeons, whatever, where you're in an extended gunfight, and trust me, once you actually start rocking a gun with Frenzy, you'll realize how often and how easily you can actually activate it. It really kind of does work like that Recluse perk, where you're swapping weapons constantly. You're not worrying about only using your primary, and Frenzy is just always active. It is always giving you a damage bonus, and when it is active, you don't feel the pain of swapping off of your primary. Like, that is something that comes up with all these other weapons. If you have a gun with multi-kill clip, you're jumping through all these hoops to get that multi-kill clip damage bonus, and yes, when it's active, it's very good, but if you have to switch to a shotgun to kill a guy that's right in your face, and then switch back, it's like, now I gotta start all over again. Frenzy does not have that problem. And the crazy part is that I've been talking about this damage bonus, right? We're always talking about damage. When you switch to it, it has increased damage, damage, damage. That is one of the main draws of Frenzy for sure, but people often forget Frenzy increases your freaking reload speed. Like, what the heck? That's actually insane. When Frenzy is active, you basically get a free Feeding Frenzy. So you're gonna reload significantly faster with Frenzy. It is 2 perks in one. And that kind of frees up your secondary perk slot. You can actually get, with the Extraordinary Rendition, Feeding Frenzy plus Frenzy if you want a more actual, like, Recluse-esque roll. But I don't think that's the best roll. I actually went here with Overflow, where picking up special or heavy ammo overflows my magazine. So it will instantly double your magazine. If you're sitting at 1 shot left in the magazine, it doesn't matter. As soon as you pick up that special, it doubles your max magazine size. So it instantly reloads your gun anytime you pick it up. And again, it works when you don't have the gun out. So if you're using your special weapon, if you're using your shotgun, and then you walk over some special ammo and then switch back to your Extraordinary Rendition, it will be instantly reloaded, but to double its normal capacity, and it'll likely have Frenzy active, so it plays into this very Recluse-like concept, where you simply use the best thing for the job. If you need to use your heavy, if you need to use your special, you don't feel bad switching. You are not jumping through hoops trying to activate these perks. These perks just come naturally in the course of a gunfight, and again, that was like the real power of the Recluse, is that you were just using your primary when you needed to, using your special when you needed to. You didn't have to try to get 3 kills and then reload to activate your damage perk. It just came to you in the course of a gunfight. So if you haven't gotten the Extraordinary Rendition with Overflow Frenzy, honestly, you are missing out. This is an extremely viable and extremely powerful weapon, and again, it gives more Recluse vibes than any other weapon I've used in the past several years, honestly. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.